Hello and welcome. It's a good day to be on the farm. My name is Chuck, and this is my Shepherd Chuck series. And I have decided that we need to make better use of our whole lot. We're really just using about half of our lot, 42 or 41, excuse me, for our sheep and our grass field. So I decided to kind of test the boundaries of what else we had available on here, and I'm trying to just see what it would look like if we cut a field out in the other open area that we have. So I'm using the Zetter and our mower and just kind of mowing an approximation of what that would look like. And we're going to go ahead and mow a few strips here while I kind of talk about the process for this. And then we'll jump into the construction menu so we can get kind of a bird's eye view of what this field might actually look like when we get it done. And since I can still mow here, that means that this is still in our property. Now we're going to try one more strip here to the west, I think this would be, and just see if we can still cut this or not. So the only surefire way to find the edge of our property that I've found so far is by mowing. Yeah, so it says we don't have access to this land here, which means we can't mow this section, which means we're off of lot 41 and onto lot 49. So that answers that. This is as far west as we can go, so we'll just go ahead and do some up downs here. And of course, this is a hard mode series, or hard mode challenge, I'm going to say, because I have it on hard economy, and I've never really done that before. I sort of tried it on FS22, but I didn't really get very many episodes into it. So this is kind of new for me, but I know that I need every penny, because as you can see, we're already at -$7 in October. In the last episode, we had finished September, got another round of sheep, and then I had to roll or do some grass rolling to get the yield higher on our grass field up to 100% for 50% fertilization. And you can see up in the left-hand corner, if you squint, there's the Massey Ferguson with the grass roller. It used the remainder of my available cash to grass roll that until we could not pay the worker anymore because we hit $0. And then somehow, even though he quit at 0, it still charged us to -7 as it crossed over the hour mark. So we'll probably see it cross from 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock here while I'm mowing this section. So I don't know how much fertilization he got done. We'll take a look in a second and see if he got halfway through the field, or if he got most of the field, or if he only started on the headlands. So, but I was down here mowing while he was rolling, so we're gonna have to finish that later in either this episode or off camera as well. But I think it's time that, since we bought this whole lot, there's no sense in using only part of our lot available to make money. Now that we're in year 2 and our sheep are established, and we've got a couple of different ways to make money with silage, and we've got ways to make hay to feed our sheep over the winter, I'm feeling pretty comfortable with that part of the business. It's time to scale up, and it's either buy new land or make a better use of the land that we have. So I figured, since we have this kind of interesting shaped area over here, we would see what we can be done with it, and you're probably getting a pretty decent idea of what that might look like from just what you're watching me mow now. But we will do the bird's eye view because it looks you get a much better view of that. And then obviously we have trees as well, and so sometime in year 2 I would imagine that we're going to get a chainsaw and probably the winch, because I don't think we're going to be able to pick up much with our front loader on the Massey. We could, but I would much rather just get the winch and pull the logs if we can afford a sawmill. So again, the little 10% sawmill, or the mini production, as you want to call it, is $36,000. So we have to make at least $37,000, $1,000 for a chainsaw, and $36,000 for the sawmill to start doing lumber. So we're going to make that from silage bales and maybe fabric from our wool production. Is kind of where that might come from. So until we can get there, we're going to just plant some more grass probably in this area and make this a second field to get bales off of. Once we make it through the winter and we know that we're going to have enough hay to feed our sheep to get it through the winter, then we can actually use some of those hay bales too and maybe sell those if we don't need them, because we can obviously cut more next year. So that's kind of the loose process, or the loose vision, I guess, for the next year in this series, is to continue to utilize that field to its best ability, which gets us somewhere between 12 and 15 bales, depending on whether we're doing hay or silage, and depending on our fertilization state. And then we'll have this field to also produce some additional bales we can sell. And you might be asking yourself why I'm not cutting this part here at the bottom, but you can see it's a different texture, just barely, but it's like that light green versus the dark green brown grass when I cut it. And I've realized I'm not actually getting any grass off those areas when I mow them. So I was mowing the outline to give me a good idea of where it kind of start, but I'm not going to mow areas that aren't going to produce me any grass, because that's just a waste of time. So, but the strips that we are mowing, we're going to come down here with the baler and pick up as well. We'll probably only get 2 or 3 grass bales off, but 2 or 3 wrapped silage bales is still better than 0 when we're at negative $15. Oh, it's not the worker. I just realized why we're going negative $7 every hour. It's our production facility. So that facility that's converting our existing wool into fabric is costing us apparently $7 or $7.50 an hour. So that must be why we're running negative right now. So anyway, I think this strip will probably be the last that we'll do in this area before I plow it all under and make it into field. So let's go ahead and lift this up, and then we'll jump into the construction menu and kind of show you. So this area here is going to be the new field, and they are going to be connected right here. Yeah, between these two trees, let me zoom in a little bit. Between these two trees will be where those fields are connected. I could make 3 fields, make one little one here in the trees and one up here, but I'm just going to connect them and make them one other field. So essentially this will be our second field, and it's kind of I don't know what shape that is. It's kind of a square, but it's really 2 circles, kind of, or 2 ovals sort of overlapping in this section. And it's got one tall lodgepole, no, Scotch pine in the middle of it. But I really wanted to get these 5 extra strips and add another strip out there, so I didn't want to make it too skinny and too much like a U shape. And so here's our path. So you can see I found kind of the bottom of where we were able to paint and came over here and mowed until I couldn't mow there. And then we came over here, I guess it would technically be to the east, and mowed until we couldn't mow there. And then here's our original field with our roller up there. It looks like he made probably 70% of that field. Then here's obviously our sheep pen that holds 82. There's our house, and there is our bale storage. And then over here is our production. So this is kind of our square, but this is going to make better use. We still have thick trees down here and some trees up here we can eventually cut down and then make a better use of the land. But anyway, wanted you guys to kind of see that. So I am going to grab the baler and start baling this grass, but I won't make you watch me do that. I'm guessing 3 silage bales at most off of here. We'll update you on that later, because you'll see a couple of silage bales I didn't have before. And then I also need to finish the rolling, and I'm not going to make you watch me do either of those things, but wanted you to kind of know what I was working on here. Is trying to get a second field, and we do own the plow and a cultivator. So let me just park this up here until we get to ready to mow in the spring again. So here is our, well, that's our cultivator, or our subsoiler. So here's our plow. With the plow we can make a field, and that's going to take a while. I might time lapse it, we'll see. And then here is the cultivator. Don't know why it's shaking. We were too close to it, I guess. Or the subsoiler to change it from plowed state to cultivated so we can plant. And I believe our, let me just check here in the menu. Go down to vehicles. Our grass roller, which is this Dalbo, yeah, it can take seeds. Only 250 liters, but it can take seeds. So those will be grass seeds, and we can plant grass with this grass roller. So instead of having to lease another planter, we should be able to plant grass with that. Now, I did buy a pallet of seeds the last time, so I think I dumped those around here somewhere. Let me just sneak over here. Oh, we got a pallet of wool though. Where did I put those grass seeds? So our trailer, our tedder, our windrower, our baler, our subsoiler, mower, and our zetter, our wrapper. I wonder if they're still up at the store. Anyway, regardless, we should have some grass seeds somewhere. It's going to be unfortunate if we have to buy grass seeds to grass in that field, but we're going to just go ahead and switch to our Massey Ferguson and take a look. So we're, no, not 70%. We're maybe halfway done with the rolling. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up that rolling, and then we'll get the baler, and we'll pull the baler to pick up all that grass down here. And then once we plow it, it should show up on the map, and we'll have this weird L-shaped field on this edge that will give us a better idea of kind of where our property is. Now, I know here's the sheep pen, but you can't see the pasture on this overhead map. So I like when we have a field, because then we can actually take a better look at it. So anyway, I'm going to cut this here, and we'll come back in later, either with a time lapse or after the time lapse, or after I've cut the field in, and take a look. But hang in there. There'll be a little bit more of this episode at the end. All right, take care. Bye.